Today, there are over 1.5 million Muslims worldwide, with Muslim majority countries stretching from Morocco to Indonesia. However, like virtually all religions, Islam is not a monolithic entity. It includes various branches that interpret the Quran and historical political events in diverse ways. The two main denominations in Islam are Sunnism and Shiism, with Sunnis making up 80% to 90% of the Muslim population. To understand the schism in Islam, we need to start with an Ali ibn Abi Talib, a pivotal figure in Islamic history. Ali was born in Mecca into a prominent Hashimi clan and was the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad. They shared a close bond. Ali's father had raised Muhammad after he became orphaned, and later Ali lived in Muhammad's household. When Muhammad announced his prophethood in 610 AD, Ali was among the first to accept Islam and recognize Muhammad as the prophet. However, Muhammad's teachings were not initially well received by the polytheistic Meccans, and he and the early Muslims faced persecution. Rumors of a plot against Muhammad began to spread, leading him to leave Mecca for Medina with most of his followers in 622. This event, known as the Hijra migration, was so significant that it marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. Initially, Ali stayed behind to return positions entrusted to the Prophet for safekeeping, but soon joined the other Muslims in Medina. In 623, he married Muhammad's daughter, Fatima Zahra, becoming one of Muhammad's most trusted companions. Renowned for his wisdom and fairness, Ali earned the title Asadullah, Lion of God, for his military prowess and bravery on the battlefield. By 631, the Islamic community, or Ummah, had established control over Mecca, a significant part of the Arabian Peninsula, emerging as a formidable force. The crucial question then arose: who would succeed the aging Muhammad? This question is central to the Islamic schism. Sunni and Shia sources provide differing interpretation of the succession issue. During his final pilgrimage, Muhammad delivered a sermon at the Ghadir Khum oasis, took Ali by the hand, and proclaimed, "Anyone who has me as his mullah has Ali as his mullah." Shia theology interprets this statement as Muhammad designing Ali as his successor by calling him mullah, a term with various meanings, including leader or master. Sunnis, however, view the Ghadir Khum episode as merely an expression of Muhammad's affection for his loyal companion and son-in-law, interpreting Mawla as friend. Another crucial episode in the succession dispute between Sunni and Shia theologies is known as the pen and paper incident. This event is regarded as an authentic hadith, acknowledged by both Sunni and Shia scholars, though interpreted differently. In Islam, a hadith is a report on the life of Muhammad that provides religion and legal guidance for the Muslim community. According to this hadith, a few days before his death, Muhammad asked his companions to bring them pen and paper so that he could write a statement to prevent the Ummah from straying after his passing. However, one of Muhammad's closest companions, Omar, responded, "The Prophet is seriously ill, and we have Allah's book with us, which is sufficient." This response led to a heated argument in the room, making Muhammad displeased and causing him to ask everyone to leave. The exact content of the statement Muhammad intended to write remained uncertain. Shias claimed that he intended to appoint Ali as his successor, but this cannot be definitively proven. Sunnis believe that the Prophet did not explicitly name a successor and left the decision to Islamic community. Several other events also contribute to the claims of both Sunnis and Shias regarding succession. Following Muhammad's death in 632, the Ummah failed to reach a consensus on a new leader. When Ali managed the funeral arrangements, a meeting to determine the successor was held in Medina. Ali and the two other prominent companions, Abu Bakr and Omar, were not present, and discussions continued without them. Most of those present were Muslims living in Medina who had welcomed Muhammad or converted later, while very few of those who had migrated from Mecca to Medina with Muhammad were in attendance. Abu Bakr and Omar arrived at the meeting and assumed control of the process in Ali's absence. Abu Bakr, one of the earliest converts to Islam and Muhammad's father-in-law, through his daughters Aisha, was highly represented by modern Sunnis. Wealthy and influential, he made substantial contributions to Islam, making him a leading candidate for leadership. Omar, also a close companion of Muhammad and his father-in-law, through his daughters Hafsa, was known for his zealous protection of the Prophet and is considered just intelligent and wise in Sunni tradition. After heated debate, Omar successfully persuaded those present to choose Abu Bakr as the successor, the Caliph or leader of the Muslim Ummah. Ali was later informed of the decision and, along with several other companions, initially refused to accept it, feeling that it was made without his input despite his strong candidacy. Omar then undertook efforts to persuade or coerce the companions to pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr, even visiting Ali's house personally to convince him. The subsequent events are highly disputed. Sunnis believe Omar peacefully persuaded Ali to recognize Abu Bakr's caliphate, while Shia resources claim that Omar forced Ali's compliance by breaking into his house, injuring Ali's wife Fatima Zahra, which led to miscarriage of their child. Ali himself was allegedly bound with a rope to secure his alliance. The exact details remain unverifiable, but eventually Ali accepted Abu Bakr and his successor Omar as caliphs and withdrew from public life. Although he was often consulted on state matters, Ali accepted Omar's succession and even married his daughter Kulthum to help. After Omar's death in 644, Ali was considered for the position, but another companion, Osman of the Banu Umayyah clan, became the new caliph. Again, Ali recognized the new caliph, but discontent within the caliphate soon grew. The sources vary on the reason, but many attribute to Osman's nepotism and leniency toward tribal rivalries as contributing factors. The opposition against Ali was fueled by several factors. Rebels proposed supporting Ali as an alternative to Osman, but Ali turned down their offers and even sent his sons Hassan and Hussain to safeguard Osman's residence. Despite these efforts, Osman was assassinated by rebels from Egypt in 656. When Ali's time to become caliph finally arrived, he assumed the role as the fourth and the final of Rashidun's caliphs. However, his ascent was far from smooth, taking place during highly turbulent times. The Prophet's wife Aisha and Osman's relatives from the Banu Umayyah clan, including the governor of Syria, Muawiyah, demanded that Ali punish those responsible for Osman's death. Since some of the plotters were Ali's supporters, he rejected these demands, leading to the outbreak of the first Muslim civil war, known as the Fitna. In December 656, Ali's forces triumphed over the rebels at the Battle of the Camel near Basra. Nonetheless, Muawiyah continued to refuse to recognize Ali as the caliph, and opposition to Ali railed around him. Ali sought to avoid repeating Osman's errors by implementing measures to centralize the caliphate and reduce the power of regional governors. The two leaders assembled their armies and confronted each other at Sifin on the Euphrates in 657. Neither side was eager for a major battle, but after 3 months of intermittent skirmishes, serious combat eventually ensued. In an effort to end the conflict, Muawiyah followers displayed copies of the Quran on their lances and called for attribution. Under pressure, Ali agreed to arbitration, but some of his followers disagreed and left him, becoming known as Kharijis, a term derived from the Arabic verb kharaja, meaning to leave. During the arbitration, which took place at Ad-Haru in 658 or 659, it was decided that both Ali and Muawiyah should forego their claims and allow the Muslims Ummah to choose their ruler. Ali rejected this ruling, resulting in a continued deadlock as Muawiyah's supporter proclaimed him Caliph in Damascus in 660. The following year, Ali was assassinated by the Kharijis while praying in the mosque at Kufa. Ali's son Hassan was declared the new Caliph in Kufa, which had become the capital during Ali's brief reign. However, Muawiyah had a far stronger army, and Hassan chose to step down to avoid further bloodshed, leading to a treaty between the factions. According to the treaty, Hassan accepted Muawiyah as Caliph on the condition that he would govern according to Islamic principle. Muawiyah was to refrain from appointing a successor, with a new Caliph to be chosen by an electoral council or shura. Muawiyah was to cease cursing Ali and persecuting Ali's family and supporters. Despite these agreements, Muawiyah did not honor his compliments. Towards the end of his reign, he appointed his son Yazid as his successor, departing from the tradition of the Islamic Caliphate, which had previously elected its leader through consultation or election, and shifting towards a monarchy. Muawiyah convened the Shura in Damascus, newly established capital of the Caliphate, and through a mix of persuasion and bribery, secured support for Yazid. This maneuver provoked significant opposition, which coalesced around Hussein's, Muhammad's grandson and Ali's son. After Hassan's death in 670, Hussein emerged as a leader of this opposition. Despite considerable resistance, Muawiyah managed to gain the backing of Mecca and Medina for Yazid. Kufa, which had been Ali's capital, remained a potential stronghold for the opposition. Muawiyah's death in 680 set off events that would further intensify the divisions within the Islamic world. Following Muawiyah's death, Yazid ascended as a new caliph and promptly demanded alliance from Hussein. Yazid's envoy, unable to sway Hussein and wary of harming him due to his status as the Prophet's grandson, faced a delicate situation. Meanwhile, the people of Kufa began sending letters to Hussein, informing him of their opposition to Umayyad rule, their support for him, and their desire to remove Yazid from power and install him in his place. The Kufans, who had supported Ali during the first Fitna and continued to support his family by backing Hassan, were disheartened when Hassan abdicated in favor of Muawiyah. Hussein accepted this call and sent his cousin, Muslim ibn Aqil, to Kufa to assess the situation and rally support. Initially, Muslim ibn Aqil experienced significant success and kept Hussein updated on his progress. In response, Yazid was forced to replace the governor of Kufa to suppress the opposition within the city. The new governor succeeded in quelling the dissent. As support dwindled, Muslim and Aqil decided to initiate a revolt before Hussein's arrival, but it was soon defeated. Unaware of this, Hussein set out for Kufa in September 680 with about 50 men and his family. During the journey, he learned of Muslim and Aqil's death and the failure of the revolt in Kufa. Realizing the futility of opposite Yazid, Hussein allowed those who had joined him to leave. Shortly thereafter, Yazid's forces confronted Hussein, and an envoy from the new governor of Kufa instructed Hussein to either accompany him or turn back, but not to return to Medina. Hussein refused and continued on his path, with the envoy forces accompanying him. On October 2nd, Hussein arrived in Karbala and set up camp. The next day, Yazid sent an additional 4,000 men to confront Hussein. The Umayyad army was ordered to block Hussein's men from accessing the Euphrates River, hoping to force their submission by depriving them of water. However, 3 days later, Hussein's group managed to secure water, resulting in a stalemate. For over a week, Yazid's official attempted to persuade Hussein to accept his fate and pledge alliance to Yazid. Aware of the implications of attacking the Prophet's grandson, ultimately Hussein rejected Yazid's offers. On October 10, the Umayyad army approached Hussein's camp, and both sides prepared for battle. Hussein's companions fought bravely, but the forces were vastly uneven. Hussein and his men were massacred, including 7 sons of Ali, Hussein himself, 2 of Hussein's sons, 3 sons of his brother Hassan, and other grandchildren of Ali. Many members of the Prophet's family were killed. This massacre was the final spark that solidified the schism within the Islamic world, leading to its division into Sunni and Shia branches. This split began with a dispute over Muhammad's succession and was further cemented by the deaths of Ali and Hussein, resulting in a permanent divide within Islam. Initially a political movement, Shia Islam gradually evolved into a distinct branch with alternative interpretations of the Quran and Hadith, unique perspectives on Islam jurisprudence, and its own set of religion practices. It venerates the people of House al-Bayt, the direct descendants of Muhammad as his rightful successors. The Sunni tradition, also known as the people of Sunnah, and the community Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, developed alongside Shia Islam, each following its own path within the broader Islamic faith. Sunni Islam has remained the dominant branch within Islam, although there have been changes over time and diverse interpretation of the sacred text by Sunni scholars. The main differences between the 2 largest branches of Islam trace back to the events mentioned earlier. While Sunni theology also holds the al-Bayt in respect, it rejects the idea that the Islamic Ummah should be ruled by them. The deaths of Ali and the massacre of Hussein, along with his family and companions, intensified the sense of injustice felt by Shia Muslims toward the Prophet's family and established martyrdom as a central principle of Shia Islam. Ali's martyrdom during prayer and Hussein's martyrdom in his fight against what he saw as tyranny and usurpation became powerful symbols of Shia Islam. The first month of Islam calendar, Muharram, is observed as a period of mourning for Shia Muslims, with the 10th of Muharram, known as Ashura, making the culmination of mourning ceremonies due to the Battle of Karbala. Every year, millions of devoted Shias undertake the Arba'in pilgrimage on foot to the holy shrine of Imam Hussein in Karbala. Despite the Shia defeat at Karbala, supporters of the Ahlul Bayt continue to challenge the prevailing state of affairs within the Islamic world. Descendants rallied under the banner of the party of Ali and opposed the rule of the Caliphate. Influential states and dynasties, such as the Fatimids, Umayyads, Nizaris, Safavids, and others, emerged throughout the Islamic world, inspired by the compelling idea of Shia Islam.